Today's video is going to be a little on the personal side, and I will try and get through it with as much vigor and emotional stamina as I can because this really goes to the heart of how and who I am in terms of relying on one paycheck and a life event that I had that caught me completely off guard. I don't want you to feel like how I did many years ago. And hopefully, you will think about if you're a working woman, a lot of times we think that things are not in our control, that the biggest financial risks that we have right now are inflation or gas prices or the economy in general. Is that our biggest worry right now? Yes, we do worry about that, especially if we have a family and we're trying to feed our family and we're trying to put gas in our cars. All of those things impact how we feel about holding our onto our jobs and or even creating a second source of income. But what I'm going to be talking about today is the things that impact you when you only have that one paycheck. And that's where I found myself many years ago that I was a single mom and a sole provider of my daughter and I, and how real estate investing wasn't even introduced to me as a way that I could supplement my incomes. Because when your financial situation changes, if you go from a two household income down to a one, child support doesn't pay the rent. I mean, it's just not enough to raise one, two, three, four, however many children you have. And I don't know too many women in our age group that receive alimony because most women now work. Alimony is not one of those things that you hear about unless you're married to, I don't know, a billionaire. After all of these years of investing and remembering how things were for me back in the day and how real estate investing could have probably alleviated a lot of my stress around being a professional woman who had only one source of income, especially if you are someone who has been in the workforce for a while. You've seen a lot of different changes. And it's scary to think what could happen. What could happen to the way you live? What could happen to your family if you lose that one paycheck? It's a risk to think about just having one source of income. And I see it on Facebook groups all the time. People are saying, how can I have a second income? And I want so badly to go into those Facebook groups and say, call me. Let's talk about how you can start having a second source of income and that you can start building strong assets that make money while you sleep. I'm going to say to you that the risk is not the economy. It's not inflation. It's not even how much gas can you put in your car today. It's about being dependent on that one paycheck, on that one source of income. That's the risk that a lot of professional women face. I know for me, one paycheck felt safe, or two at that time, felt safe until it wasn't. And I am a person who doesn't need a ton of sleep, but I can tell you during that time period when my daughter was small, I stayed up late at night wondering how was I going to pay for her college education? How was I going to pay for her to be in sports or be a cheerleader? Or maybe she wants to take acting classes or an art class. How was I going to provide extra things besides a roof over her head? I was fortunate I did have a job that provided the basics, but what if she wanted more? What if I wanted to provide more? And at that time, I didn't know anything about real estate investing. I didn't know any real estate investors. I didn't even know that that was a thing that you could do to make extra money. And I didn't know that you could actually learn how to do real estate investing. If I had known that then I would have saved myself a lot of stress, gray hair, and just unnecessary worry if I had had that information. That's why I am so passionate about real estate investing. And yes, there's other ways that you can make money. I see on Facebook where you can learn to go to Canva and make thousands of dollars. And I can tell you from experience that that's not as easy as it sounds. Yes, making the download is easy, but making thousands of dollars a month doing that is not as easy as they make it sound. But it's not just divorce that happens to women, it's our health. If you end up getting cancer of some type and you have to take time off from work, will your employer pay? And will they pay at your full salary? And then there's the added burden and cost and worry of just dealing with the health. Or so these things happen. We don't think about them until they do or until we hear about someone else that just went through that. Another thing that I remember being faced with when my daughter Kelsey was very small was childcare. No one prepares you for how much it is going to cost. And as I'm sitting here recording this, there was no childcare benefits in terms of somebody paying me to put my child in daycare. Now, if you're fortunate enough to have that benefit and still work, then that's a bonus for you. Most women don't have that opportunity. And to pay for quality daycare, because yes, you could probably find cheaper daycare, but who wants to put their child in discount daycare? No one. I don't know anyone that wants to do that. Of course, a lot of women even struggle with should they continue to work or should they pay for childcare? So in my daughter's case, when it came time to, it was so cost prohibitive, but she still needed to make money. She was literally going to be working to putting her children into daycare, and her job that she had, which was very, very stressful, wasn't really going to continue to give her the lifestyle that she wanted. Yes, she made some changes to choose to stay at home as a mom, but she also made the decision to start investing in real estate so that she could, one, contribute to the family household income, which had always been based on two incomes, and continue to make money even while she sleeps. That alleviates her worry about money. Another caregiving situation is our parents. So as the boomers are aging out, that's a real burden on families today as well. They just happen. No one in their 20s says, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to pay for mom and dad to go into a retirement home. No one says, oh my gosh, what am I going to do if I get cancer? No one thinks about that until it actually happens. The only people who are thinking about that are the people insurance for when those things happen. I was affected by divorce and I never thought I would have to think about that because when you're walking down the aisle, who thinks that they're going to get married? No one. And then you're raising children on top of it. Again, I just want to make you aware that if your paycheck, your one source of income were to go away, what would be your plans? You can actually start planning today for that maybe sometime tomorrow. And I'm not saying quit the day job. I'm saying be prepared in case something happens. Or I just got back from a woman's retreat not too long ago, and all the women that were there were 6 or 7 of us. We were all professional women. Every single one of us, the reason we were there because we were burned out. A lot of them had high professional management jobs. We're just busy. We're taking care of everybody. So sometimes we have to switch our gears because we're just burned out. And that doesn't mean we can just quit the day job. It means that we have to find another way to supplement our income. And so that's why I come back to real estate investing. And then the other thing about being dependent on one paycheck is clear and then going through layoffs. The economy is changing, but so are the jobs that are available. You just have to be prepared. An additional source of income, anything. Wouldn't it be lovely to put your head on the pillow at night and know that your future is secured because your assets that you've been purchasing through real estate investing are actually creating legacy wealth for you and your family, all while you're asleep. I mean, it's not that we don't know that there's divorce, illness, childcare issues. That's really not the problem. We are completely aware that if any of those things happen to us, that it will impact us financially, no matter where we're at or who we are. The real problem is being caught off guard. That's really what I'm talking about. It's not that you will go through life unscathed and never have anything bad happen. It's how are you going to react to it? How are you going to be prepared? It's when people are caught off guard that we tend to stress and worry. When right in front of you, there's a way to alleviate all of that by just learning how to invest in single family properties. What I'm talking about here is financial resiliency, being able to weather these storms. If something happens, like the event is happening, how will you handle it? And will you be someone who takes the necessary actions today to make sure that you are prepared for when and if it's just when one of these life events are going to happen? If you had multiple income streams because you took the necessary steps today to learn how to invest in real estate, z- being prepared financially, this is what it looks like. Real estate investing, one house is not going to make you rich. It's going to be a stepping stone to more houses. And it's not going to be the one house that's going to let you quit your day job. But what we're talking about is having multiple income streams or having liquid savings and having assets that continue to build even while you sleep. That's kind of one of my mantras now. When I invest, I want to invest in things that make me money while I'm sleeping so that when I wake up, I'm a little bit richer every day. And it's about having choices, options that let you decide, not react. And that's really what we're talking about. If you want to be resilient financially, how can you prepare today for those things that are going to happen later on down the road? You don't want to be 55, 60, and now all of a sudden you're getting a divorce. It happens. And you don't know how you're going to take care of yourself financially. So those are the things that, as women, we need to protect ourselves against. Real estate investing is not magic, and it's not going to save you if something should go bad tomorrow. If you lose your job, $50 a month is not what you're going to be living on as far as cash flow. That's not going to save you. It's not going to make you rich. But real estate investing has been proven over and over. And I've been doing it for the last 20 years. It's a tangible asset that increases in value year over year over year. It's an asset that not only generates a second income for you, it builds equity for you, which then you can leverage later on down the line to either buy more properties or take out the cash. And it's just been a proven strategy over and over again. Yes, there are other things that you can invest in, but I think for me, real estate investing has been a solid investment strategy that you can learn it fairly quickly. I only use 6 steps to determine whether or not a property is a good investment for me. And then learning about how to buy the property is also something that you can all learn. Once you learn the first one, then it makes the second one easier and the third one, and you can build on that so that you are actually taking control of how you want to financially make yourself resilient. Personally, my goal was never to stop working. In fact, I love what I do. Now, I am glad I'm not in the corporate world anymore, and I did travel a lot when I was younger. But the thing is, I didn't know there was another way to make money. I didn't know. That's why I make these videos so that you know that you don't have to stay in the corporate world if you don't want to, but you may love your job, but you just want something that supplements your income and it kind of prepares you for those what if times in our life where life kind of throws us a curveball. I did another video recently about financial flexibility, where financial flexibility gives you options to choose how you are going to spend your money, how you're going to earn your money, and whether you are going to be someone that is trapped by just one source of income. Now I want to talk about financial confidence because financial confidence and those flexible options comes from being prepared so that you know what steps you need to take in order to prepare your financial confidence. What can you do today that will benefit you down the road? And so I've talked about retirement. Like retirement is for later on down the road. Real estate investing is for today and tomorrow because you can actually have a second source of income through real estate investing and you can have equity and leverage for the future. You have a way to build on what you're doing. Your actions today can not only generate income today, but also in the future. So it supplements your retirement. And I always talk about this. You don't need 10 properties to start. You just need one. When you just do one property, that starts you on that path to those that financial confidence. Because once you get that one property, you will feel more confident that you're taking control of your own financial preparedness. Now, when I look back on my last 20 years of investing, what I see is, first of all, and I didn't feel financially prepared either. I still had my daughter, I was a few years older. And when I started learning about real estate investing, I was literally blown away by the concept that I could purchase this property, I could have a tenant pay down the rent, and I could pocket some money in my pocket every month. To me, I was like, how come they don't teach this in school? Why do women not understand how investing in real estate can be that freedom that we've all been looking for? The freedom to have different options, the freedom to live how we want to. We want to have that second source of income so that if something does happen, we feel more financially prepared and therefore more financially confident. Here's a question I want to leave you with. If something happened to your paycheck today, would that change your planning, your action? Would you do anything different if your paycheck went away? What would be your backup plan? No one can predict what's going to happen in our lives. Hopefully, we will all live a very abundant and resourceful life, but we just never know what life is going to give us. But what we do know is that we can be prepared financially for almost anything that it throws at us. Let me give you your next step. Your first investment isn't the house. It's actually trying to figure out if that house that you're looking at is a good deal. And so I've made it very simple for you. And in the link in the description below, you will find a link to our resource center where we have the rental analysis. It'll take you through exactly how to analyze a property to see if it's a good deal or not. You can also give us a follow at Money Making Mamas, or if you like, reach out to me and let's have a strategy call. I challenge you to see if you're ready to stop wondering if it could work for you. And the only way that you'll know if it's going to work for you is to take some action. And so this is my daughter and I. And like I said, she's not been investing for 20 years. She's just a couple years into it now. And she has two small children. And so you can start at any stage of your life. You don't have to have small children to be a money making mama. What I would encourage you to do is to reach out and schedule a call with us. Check out our resource center. We would love to hear from you. And if you have some objections or other ways that you like to make money, drop a comment below for us too. Thanks much. And I hope to see you in our resource center. To become financially confident, you don't have to have 10 rental properties. You don't have to be a super smart person. You don't even have to have a lot of time or money. What you do need, though, is you need the commitment to be consistent in finding off market deals, be consistent in doing your due diligence. And again, you don't have to have a ton of time to do any of that. If you want to know more, check out our resource center, and we have a lot of tools that can help you on your journey to get your first rental property.